Hello and welcome to the 8th week of Season 21, Season of the Deep, starting on July 11th, 2023. So for week 8, let's get things off with our Legacy rotation, starting with the Forsaken expansion.
Ready if you are. Let's see what's out there.
The Dreaming City this week is at a weak curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Strand and has the Broken Courier mission for the next week. The Blind Well features Scorn enemies and the Plagues, Sicarus and Veracruz. The Ascendant challenge this week will be the Forfeit Shrine, which can be located over in the Gardens of Asilia on the Dreaming City. Next up, the Shadowkeep expansion. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is Beyond. The Trove Guardian is located in Archer's Line. The Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Hawkis in the Anchor of Light. And the Nightmare hunts this week will be Skolas, Pride, Fanatic, Insanity, and Omnigul, Anguish. For our Beyond Light expansion, on Europa this week, Credis, the Dark Priestess, will be the Empire Hunt, Eventide Ruins will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Survival. For the 30th Anniversary expansion, we have the loot rotation for Dares of Eternity, which will be on week 4's rotation, with the Scatterhorn armor set and the Pathfinder armor set being available. The weapons available this week will be the Stasis Precision Frame Shotgun, Fractithis, the Solar High Impact Frame Auto Rifle, Chrysura Milo, the Stasis Precision Frame Hand Cannon Vulpicula, the Arc Precision Frame Bow Wolf-Toned Roar, the Solar High Impact Frame Fusion Rifle Iotona Draconis, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Heavy Grenade Launcher Canis Major, the Arc Vice Rapid Fire Scout Rifle Contingency Plan, the Kinetic High Impact Frame Pulse Rifle Legal Action 2, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Heavy Grenade Launcher Outrageous Fortune, the Void Adaptive Frame Sword Steel Syllabus C14, and the Kinetic Lightweight Frame Sidearm Spoiler Alert. For the Witch Queen expansion, the Witch Queen weekly story mission is The Arrival, where the modifiers are Scorched Earth and Fire Pit, as well as Barrier and Unstoppable champions. Also this week you will have Altar of Reflections Catalyst and Altar of Reflections Insight. The Wellspring activity has been updated to include a featured Throne Word weapon, Veritas armor and a weapon pattern as its rewards. For the Lightfall expansion, the weekly mission is Desperate Measures, with Barrier and Unstoppable champions, Solar Threat, Empath, Overcharged Weapons, Arc and Strand Surges, Overcharged Glaives, and Galvanized on Hero difficulty only. The Partition mission will be Backdoor, Contest Mode enabled, with Barrier and Overload champions, Void Threat, Arc and Solar Shields, Shock modifier, with Void and Strand Surges. And the Vex incursion this week will be Zephyr Concourse. In addition, the weekly Lightfall reset also refreshes the Pinnacle drop for the Node Override Avalon exotic mission on the EDZ. For the Season of the Deep, the featured fishing pond will be on the Throne World. Raids and Dungeons. The Root of Nightmares raid challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Nezarec, called All Hands. Each player in your fire team must trigger one node on each side before the damage phase begins. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the 3rd encounter, Golgoroth, called Gaze Amaze. The gaze holder must stand in the pool of unclaimed light when swapping the gaze. The Vow the Disciple challenge this week is the 1st encounter, Acquisition, called Swift Destruction, where Guardians must kill all champions within a few seconds of each other on all rounds. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Gatekeeper, called Strangers in Time. Players must defeat the Praetorians and Wyverns at the same time. The Deepstone Crypt challenge this week is the 3rd encounter, Tanix Part 1, called Of All Trades. Guardians must perform each role at least once, Operator, Scanner and Suppressor. And the Last Wish challenge this week is the 3rd encounter, Morgoth, called Forever Fight. Players must not kill the small ogres during the encounter. Your Pinnacle raid will be the Garden of Salvation over on the Moon, which means all challenges will be available for each encounter. These are the 1st encounter, Embrace, called To the Top. This is where you must not kill the Cyclops that spawns near the Consecrated Mind. The 2nd encounter, Spider Fence, called A Link to the Chain. This is where all Guardians must receive the Enlightened buff at the same time. The 3rd encounter, Consecrated Mind, called Staying Alive, where you must not kill the spawning Cyclopses in the first 2 rooms. And the 4th encounter, Sanctified Mind, called 0 to 100, where you must fully fill each conflux with 30 motes within 10 seconds of initially banking the first set of motes. Also, with the Garden of Salvation being the featured raid, this does mean that you might be able to find a team to guide you through the final part of the Divine Fragment quest and raid puzzles to collect the exotic trace rifle Divinity. And the Pinnacle dungeon will be the Spire of the Watcher over on the Throne World. Next up, challenges. Super Salvager. Defeat 50 combatants with super abilities in salvage activities. 4. Challenge XP+. Treasure from the Deep. Complete a deep dive activity with the highest tier reward bonus. 4. Challenge XP++. Commendable Diver. Give or receive 6 commendations in match-made deep dive activities. 4. Challenge XP+. Pinnacle. Reach power level 1810 by earning Pinnacle rewards. 4. Challenge XP+++ and Bright Dust. Trial by Firing Squad. Win 20 rounds in Trials of Osiris. 4. Challenge XP+++, Bright Dust, and a Trials of Osiris weapon. Broadside. Defeat 150 targets in Gambit with power weapons. Bonus progress is granted for final blows with linear future rifles and for defeating Guardians. 4. Challenge XP+, and Bright Dust. And Implements of War. Defeat targets with auto rifles, hand cannons, scout rifles, glaives, and linear fusion rifles. Bonus progress is granted for defeating Guardians. 4. Challenge XP+++, and Bright Dust. Hello! As a reminder, your daily lost sector will show you a flag outside which will give you details of threats, shields, champions, and exotic armor you will find inside. But if you're new to the game or using an alternate character and can't find the flag outside, you will have to run through the lost sector normally to have it show up on your map as a legend/master, which you can either do solo or with a fire team, but you will only be able to earn a chance at the exotic drop when completing solo. Tuesday, July 11th will be Extraction on the Throne World for exotic helmets, Arc Threat, Arc & Strand Surges, Arc & Void Shields, Raider Shield Modifier, Overcharged Glaives, with Overload and Unstoppable Champions. Wednesday, July 12th will be Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City for exotic boots, Solar Threat, Arc & Strand Surges, Void Shields, Epitaph Modifier, Overcharged Shotgun, with Overload and Unstoppable Champions. Thursday, July 13th will be Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City for exotic gauntlets, Solar Threat, Arc & Strand Surges, Solar and Void Shields, Epitaph Modifier, Overcharged Swords, with Overload and Unstoppable Champions. Friday, July 14th will be Bay of Drowned Wishes on the Dreaming City for exotic chests, Arc Threat, Void and Arc Surges, Void Shields, Stalker Shield Modifier, Overcharged Snipers, with Overload and Unstoppable Champions. Saturday, July 15th will be Vel's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrain for exotic helmets, Arc Threat, Void and Arc Surges, Arc and Solar Shields, Fire Pit Modifier, with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Sunday, July 16th will be Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrain for exotic boots, Void Threat, Arc and Void Surges, Void Shields, Scorched Earth Modifier, with Barrier and Overload Champions. And finally, back round to Monday, July 17th will be the K1 Revelations on the Moon for exotic gauntlets, Void Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Arc Shields, Fire Pit Modifier, Overcharged Machine Guns, with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions.
Lead the way.
Our 8th Featured Nightfall will see us face off against Sadia in the Corrupted over on the Dreaming City, where you have a chance to get a Pinnacle engram if you complete the Nightfall with a score of 200k or more. This Nightfall is free to play. You will be able to earn high-end gear for your characters, including the Nightfall featured weapon, exotic gear, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, ascendant shards, and adept Nightfall ciphers. The higher the Nightfall difficulty, the more common the drop will be, with the featured weapon and exotic gear being uncommon at hero difficulty to being common with ascendant shards in Grand Masters. Legend and lower Nightfalls will have 3 Overload and 6 Unstoppable, with 22 Solar, 30 Void and 15 Arc Shields. Masters and GMs will have 8 Overload and 10 Unstoppable, with 20 Solar, 28 Void and 14 Arc Shields. Your Nightfall modifiers are Hero Difficulty, Maximum Effective Level 1765, Matchmaking is available, Enemies have extra shields, Champions Foe, you will face Overload and Unstoppable Champions, you can either use Intrinsic Exotics, use a subclass debuff, or unlock anti-champion mods from the Seasonal Artifact. Overcharged weapons, weapons overcharged from the Seasonal Artifact are active in this activity. Kinetic weapons do increased damage when your subclass element matches an active surge. Arc Threat, 25% increase to incoming arc damage. Denial, taken Vandals summon their shields more often. Arc Surge, 25% bonus to outgoing arc damage. Void Surge, 25% bonus to outgoing void damage. Overcharged weapons, 25% bonus damage with rocket launchers. Galvanized, combatants have more health and are more difficult to stun. Legend difficulty, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. No matchmaking. Equipment locked, you will be unable to change your equipment after this activity starts. Master difficulty, maximum effective level 1820, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. Champion's Mob, this difficulty adds more champion enemies. Chafe, Radar is disabled. Grandmaster difficulty, maximum effective level 18-15, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized and Denial. Joining progress disabled. Extinguish, if your fighting falls in a restricted zone, your team is returned to orbit. Limited revives, gain additional revives by defeating champions, up to a maximum of 20. Contest mode, which caps your power level to make enemies more of a challenge. And Epitaph, taking combatants generate blight geysers when defeated. To combat champions this season, you have access to subclass counters as well as a choice of intrinsic anti-champion artifact mods, which are Overload Scout Rifle and Overload Trace Rifle, Unstoppable Hand Cannon, and Unstoppable Glaive. You also have exotic weapons and armor that can help with intrinsic mods as well. For Overload, the Void Energy Bowler Monarch, the Arc Energy Linear Trace Rifle Divinity, the Arc Heavy Machine Gun Thunderlord, and the Warlock Exotic Boots the Secant Filaments, which when you drop an Empowering Rift, any weapon that is fired from inside the well can cause an Overload champion to be stunned. For Unstoppable, we have the Kinetic Fusion Rifle Bastion, the Kinetic Hand Cannon Malfeasance, the Solar Energy Sidearm Devil's Ruin, the Void Heavy Bow Leviathan's Breath, and the Hunter Gauntlets Atheris's Embrace, which have a chance to stun unstoppable champions with their empowered weighted knife. The Nightfall featured weapon to attain this week will be the Kinetic Scout Rifle, the Hung Jury SR4. The Hung Jury is a precision frame scout rifle with a base impact of 62, range of 49 and stability of 55. It can roll with Firefly, Frenzy and Kinetic Tremors, with Surplus, Rapid Hit and Subsistence. It has the origin trait of Stunning Recovery, where if you stun a champion you partially refill the magazine, trigger health regen and improve your recovery for a short duration. Vanguard Vindication, where final blows with the weapons grant a small amount of health. And Omlon Fluid Dynamics, where the weapon has increased reload speed and stability for the top half of the magazine. Lord Shaxx brings Mayhem to the Crucible for the 8th week of the season. Mayhem is where 2 teams of 6 players go head to head in a clash type mode. Abilities and supers charge at an extremely faster rate than usual. Respawns are instant and power ammo spawns are also much faster than usual. With a time limit of 10 minutes, the first team to get 125 eliminations is the winner. And Supremacy will be returning this week in the Relentless Crucible playlist. Supremacy is a 6v6 PvP game mode which is a variation of Clash. Every Guardian that falls will leave a class-based crest behind, and collecting those is the key to winning each match, no matter if they were dropped by a defeated enemy or by a fallen comrade. Securing opposing Guardian's crest will net the team 1 point, and collecting a fallen teammates will deny your opponents that point. Focus on recovering the crest to earn points and defeat the opposing team.
Delightful!
And Valus Forge returns to the tower for the final time this season, bringing with him Iron Banner Fortress. This is a week-long free-to-play Crucible event, which means there will be no Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Power level is disabled, meaning you can go to Iron Banner with whatever weapons and armour you would like. Iron Banner also brings with it challenges and a seal to become an Iron Lord. Each day for 4 days for each character from Tuesday Reset, Lord Saladin will give you the opportunity to receive a Pinnacle reward. By hovering over the Iron Banner node on the director, it will tell you how many games you need to play and with what subclass you need to equip to complete it. You can either play each day and collect each Pinnacle, or you can wait until Friday Reset to play all the games you need and receive all 4 Pinnacles in one go. From 3 for your first Pinnacle up to 18 games in total for all 4 Pinnacles. As a reminder, Pinnacle rewards will give you +5 to your power level if you are below the power cap of 1800. But if you're at 1800 and trying to reach the Pinnacle gap of 1810, then the Pinnacle will give you +2 in light. Players can rank up with Lord Saladin to receive rewards from his reward track. And equipping any Iron Banner armour, ornament or weapon plus Iron Banner emblem will progress your progress faster in ranking up. This is multiplied if you complete the daily Pinnacle challenges as well. For the Iron Banner gear boost requirements, all 5 pieces must be equipped as gear or ornaments for it to take effect. In Iron Banner Fortress, 2 teams of 6 are pitted against each other with the objective to control 3 stationary objective points scattered around the arena, just like in a regular control match. However, these work a little differently. In Fortress, you earn points for each zone you hold onto at regular time intervals. If you have 1 zone, you get 2 points, 2 zones, you get 4, all 3 are power play, you get 6 points. Killing enemies does not count towards your points, keeping objectives does. So, if you want to win the match, take and hold those zones. Conversely, it also doesn't matter how often you're getting killed if the enemy team isn't grabbing the zone from you. When a team reaches 40 points, a high value zone will spawn a countdown timer at a marked location somewhere on the map, and the other 3 zones will disappear. This is where Empress Keitel of the Cabal decides to intervene. When this happens, you should drop whatever you're doing and run towards the capture point. But be careful, as a giant Cabal drop pod will hit the ground, opening to reveal yellow bar turrets called Esteemed Scorpius. You'll need to defeat these turrets to open the high value zone, which grants more points when your team controls it, which can really turn the tide of battle. After 45 seconds, the high value zone will despawn, and the 3 normal objectives will return. You will have 2 opportunities per match to capture the Cabal zone, one at 40 points and the other at 80. The game will continue until the score reaches its max, or you reach the 10-minute time limit. With this being the final Iron Banner of the season, this does mean that you have one more chance to become an Iron Lord, which there are 7 triumphs to complete. These are Jolder's Victory, win matches in the Iron Banner playlist across all events and seasons. Ganora's Seal, acquire Iron Banner armor. Each armor piece must be unique to count towards the total. Ormond's Taste, acquire Iron Banner weapons. Each weapon must be unique to count towards the total. All-Wing Spirit, earn points by completing objectives in the Iron Banner playlist modes. Frostmire's Will, complete Iron Banner challenges. Grimmel's Dedication, reset Iron Banner rank twice. Durham's Howl, complete Iron Banner matches whilst wearing at least one piece of Iron Banner armor, earn additional progress for each piece of Iron Banner armor equipped. And to gild the title this season, you have 5 triumphs to complete, which are Glorious Howl, win Iron Banner matches, earn additional progress for each piece of Iron Banner gear equipped. Again with Feeling, reset Iron Banner rank. On Point, earn points by completing objectives in the Iron Banner playlist modes whilst using Strand, Solar or Void subclass. One and Done, complete all 4 Iron Banner challenges in a single Iron Banner celebration. And Down Dear Friend, defeat 200 Guardians in Iron Banner, earn bonus progress for using Iron Banner weapons from the current season.
That is amazing.
And that's it for the 8th week of Season of the Deep. Thank you for watching. Allons-y.
Guardian down.